just had a heads up that there are about 5 sports bikes that have been generally misbehaving up here, and just going to try and pull them in here and have a quick chat with them, I think. Multistrada, big Honda, KTM. Good luck, chaps. Just having a bit of a polite chat. So, talking to complete. Basically, Lee up ahead in the car saw these guys overtaking on left-handers and stuff. Looked like dangerous overtakes, so they got pulled in for their trouble. And hopefully they'll be riding, taking it easy now. Also, one of them had a quite an obviously tricky number plate where the digits and numbers have been made to look like the opposite, and the sizing was wrong and the font was wrong. I think that guy was quite lucky to get away without having a ticket. Anyway, it was all dealt with very politely. No one got done. Hopefully some lessons learned. Question time again then, this one from Mark Taylor. Thank you for your question, Mark. He asks, it would be interesting to know how many reported bike thefts the police get. Appreciate this may fall within a different police department, but relevant nevertheless. And how many they recover, and also how many convictions do they secure as a result. Plus any advice they would give over and above the obvious security measures to reduce the risk of having your pride and joy nicked. It's actually about 5 questions there. So yeah, theft, Lee. What's your thoughts on that?
It's not a huge issue in North Wales. I think maybe just over 40 bikes were stolen last year, or over the last 12 months. I can't tell you how many have been recovered off the top of my head. It's not a big issue as it is in the cities. Security measures, the obvious ones are the obvious ones, aren't they? So keep it out of sight, locked up in garages, use your ground anchors, chains, all that sort of stuff. Put a cover over it if it's outside, and just make it as difficult as you can for the thief, so they go on to somebody else's and leave yours alone.
We were talking about road positioning earlier. It's interesting watching Owain on the bike in front. Look, he's out there now with a slight left turn, so he's in what I would call position 3. Get a bit more vision through. And then if we do a right turn, he'll be out in what I call position 1, again to get more position through. I completely get that, but for me, it breaks down a bit if you're, say, on a right-hand bend and you're very close to the curb. You've got to ride very precisely. You've got no margin for error. So we're hanging out now to position 1 for the right-hander. Okay, it's not a problem here because it's a big wide bend, but if it was a tight bend, you know, it could be tricky. You could, if you haven't got much margin for error, you've got to ride accurately if you're going to do that. At least that's my view. But all the advanced riding courses tend to teach the same stuff, so there must be some basis in science and statistics there somewhere, I'd like to think. See, we're out in position 3 for this left-hand bend. You can see round it nicely. But again, if it was a tighter bend and then there was something coming around, you're out in danger's way as far as I'm concerned. But as the guys were saying, Andy was saying earlier, you've just got to look ahead, look at the line of trees, see what's coming, use all the clues and observation that's available to you. There's a lot more to it than you might at first think. Okay, question time again. Nice one from Richard McCord here. Thank you, Richard. Are the police riders all die-hard bikers, or is it just another part of the career path they need to take? Over to you, Owain.
Yeah, so certainly, as we mentioned before, I was riding a bike prior to joining the police even. Always had an interest in it. I think 50% of this department ride bikes, either for their own pleasure or sort of in work. In terms of, is it another career path that we have to take? No, it's not. It's something that we put ourselves forward for. Clearly it's from the roads policing unit that we do that, and it's something we've obviously got an interest in and want to be further trained in, and go and do that basically.
Okay, so you rejoin us in the vicinity of Bala. Unfortunately my battery ran out on my camera just now, so I didn't get any shots of the last bit of the route, but lovely ride through. As you can see, the weather's starting to brighten up, so hopefully if there's not too many ne'er-do-wells, crooks and villains out, we'll just have a nice ride. So stick around and stay tuned. Let's enjoy the views. Oh, it's good to be back, Wales. It is good to be back. It's been way too long. This is what riding is all about, isn't it? Wales always delivers when it comes to motorcycling. So Owain described this as one of the Top Gear routes. Apparently this is one of the roads that often features in Top Gear as one of their road test routes, and I can see why. What an absolutely cracking road. Also earlier on they were describing the roads around here as the Evo Triangle as well, because of Evo magazine testing their cars in this area. So it's not just the bikers that appreciate Welsh roads. Just the grunt of the old Boxer engine. Went round there in 5th and it still pulled away. As much as I don't like the looks of the Boxer engine bikes, the engine itself, the way it delivers its power, even in this older 1200 form, it's just superb. Look at this ribbon of tarmac. The B4391 apparently. Tell you what, it just shows how much fun you can have within the speed limit, doesn't it? Check this view out, eh? Look at that. Bruce would be proud. What an absolute cracker. So we turned off for the record. We're on the B4410 heading towards Bethgelert, I think. And it looks like this potentially could have some scenic moments. Okay, another question. This is from Dave Allenby. Like this, got a bit of line of duty about this one. So Dave says, I want to know about the potential conflict between enforcing the spirit of the law against the letter of the law. There are many roads that are safe to travel. Basically, it's a long question, but what he's saying is how much latitude do the police have over the spirit of the law and the letter of the law? Over to you, Lee.
Thanks for that. We have discretion, so we can use discretion when we think it's suitable. Some bikers they'll convince themselves that my exhaust is a bit loud, but my number plate's a bit small, but that's okay. And then when we stop them, they try and convince us that's the same. So sometimes, yeah, we have discretion. If it's a small thing, if the plate's slightly too small, we'll have a word, get it changed for us, have a bit of advice, and if they accept it, great, we'll move on. But if we start racking up 2 or 3 different things, then when do we say we need to take some action on this person? Because if they're ignoring advice on 1, 2, 3, 4 offences, then are they going to go around the corner and ride ridiculously fast and cause a collision? So yeah, there's latitude from the exact legislation, and we can do how we feel, deal with it how we think is best on the day. But at the same time, we have to take action on occasion.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're certainly not. This is what we do. We do have. We'll all deal with things differently depending on how we feel.
Let's hope he's in a good mood because I've got a slightly small number plate and he's following me later. Anyway, one for you now then. Let's go Owen. So who's this one from? If I can find the question. Here we go, this is a good one. This is from Joe Hicks. I like this, I think I know the answer, so it's a pretty easy one for you. Do speed cameras work at night?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got two forms basically, which is the Go Safe team that work here out of the vans that you've all seen on the side of the road, fully marked vans. They work at night, actively do so in this force area. And then the laser, which I'll show you after, that operates in sort of bad weather and night time. So yeah, be aware if you're out at night.
So no getting away from that one. Nice try though. Check this out. Well, the sun has properly come out now and it's pretending to be summer here in Wales, which is very nice indeed. Oh, how much better is it when the weather plays ball, eh? A balmy 13.5 degrees centigrade. Should have brought me trunks. Okay, time for another question. This one's from Adam Crabb. Thank you, Adam. He says, what do police bikers think about open face helmets? Would they wear them when they're off the clock and riding for fun? Why or why not? Over to you, Owen.
So open face helmets, in my opinion, possibly not the best thing to wear for protection. I completely get the look. I completely get if you ride a certain type of bike that it fits, if you like, then fine. But having been to scenes where motorcyclists have come off and potentially got facial injuries, I'd probably stick away from it. Don't give you the best protection possible.
So you don't use them yourself?
Don't use them myself, partly because my bike doesn't sort of fit the bill for an open face helmet, but no.
So what do you ride personally?
I ride an MT-07, a 2020
nice,
MT-07, and it's used as a bit of a commuter bike and a bit of a bike for weekend rides now.
But say in 30 years' time when you're 40, that didn't quite work. You do get a retro bike, a Royal Enfield Interceptor, say. Yeah. Would you be tempted to go with an open face then, or would you still say no? I've seen too many.
And I guess I've sort of got some bias from doing this job in terms of what I previously mentioned in terms of injury and stuff. That puts me off having an open face helmet. I get they're legal, they're out there to be used if so required, but personally, no, not for me.
There you go, pretty good answer there. I think thanks for that. Makes me think actually, because I have got some open face helmets. Maybe I'll ditch them. When the roads are like this and the terrain is like this, it takes obviously a long time to get anywhere, and that's where obviously bikes come into their own with the police. We were back at the station earlier, we were looking at the map that the North Wales Police covers, and there were 4 or 5 stations or main sort of stations dotted throughout the region, and the guys were saying there have been occasions when they've had to travel from one side of their region to the other, and even on the bikes it can take them an hour. So if there's been a road traffic accident, for example, it can take them some time to get there, even on motorcycles. So yeah, it's quite challenging. Right, it looks like the chaps are after those bikes. I'll just hang back. Wonder what the story is. I'm sure we'll find out shortly. Here we are. There they are. Happy chaps. They just had a quiet word. Basically, I think it was to do with the way that they came over the bridge. A bit aggressive, cut the corner slightly, and then they all came around very quickly, having seen that we were coming the other way. So it was just a case of a friendly word to exercise a bit of caution, and they'll be on their way, hopefully being a little bit more careful. Apparently they're a group of riders up from London. Not that that's a bad thing, of course. A bit of positive engagement is what that's known as, I think. Right, where were we? Oh yes, enjoying the ride. I think I recognise this corner from a previous visit. On the Goldwing with Mrs. Flyer, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a cracking road through here as well. Oh wow, look at the water down there. So this is Bethgelert. Lovely little town, if I remember rightly. Last time I was here, it was a whole COVID lockdown ago. Looks like it's still a very popular spot though, on a Saturday afternoon. Great to see people out enjoying themselves. Well, what a cracking ride through that was. So we've just stopped here at this little cafe just outside Bethgelert. It was very busy in Bethgelert, as it seems to always be. So time for another brew, I think, and see what we've learnt so far. It's been a cracking ride through it. It's so nice to be back on the bike again, I can't tell you. Right, time for another brew time. So, I was wondering, you lot are festooned with a load of kit, radios, goodness knows what, cameras. I find charging up my camera battery a pain in the backside. What's it like for you guys to manage all that? Is it all done for you? Do you just pick up a battery at the start of the day, or?
No. Well, our radios will dock at the end of each shift.
Yeah.
And they'll charge, and then they'll tend to last a shift, don't they? Unless it's particularly busy.
Right.
You have to change the battery once. And the body cams will last a few weeks.
Really?
Between charges generally, won't they?
Yeah, that's incredible. What sort of quality is it then off of those? Because presumably it's got to be pretty good.
Yeah, HD quality.
That's amazing. And they're running all the time?
No, you switch them on and off.
Oh, do you?
That's why they last. Yeah, if you had it on all the time,
Okay.
in the whole shift.
Right.
But basically, when you go to an instant or whatever, you'll put the camera
Well,
on.
that's amazing. Given I get about half an hour out of a battery out of this thing.
Yeah,
And
no,
they last
they're
a couple of
very
weeks.
good.
That's
And then
amazing.
when you film them, you can just dock them, they'll charge and upload the footage and everything.
Right, oh, clever stuff. So it's not actually as much faff as I thought. Alright, another little tea stop before the next part of the ride. And what a cracking part of the ride it is too. Check out this scenery. So I think we're pretty much at the base of Snowdon here. So we are now in Snowdonia proper. And I'm so chuffed that the weather has improved. It's absolutely glorious out here now. Roads largely dry. Not too many people on them. Although I'm not ruling out the chance of another shower at some point looking at these clouds. Absolutely gorgeous down here by the lake. Oh, I'm loving this. Just as we did some cracking scenery along the valley, unfortunately my SD card got full, which is always the way. Anyway, replaced it. Hopefully we're back on again now with this cracking North Wales scenery. There's another little stop up here where we might be able to get some snappage as well, I think. Well, the car parks are full today. Another full car park with some tired looking walkers. Walking heaven around here, I imagine. So it turned out to be pretty busy in the walking mecca. So it was a quick loo stop and move on. But lovely spot again. I can see why it's popular with the walking types. Which I'm also one of occasionally. You know, check out this valley ahead. Wow. That is gorgeous. What a road again, eh? Fantastic. So that's us heading out of Snowdonia then. It's been absolutely great to be back in the area. I just love this part of the world. It's been great to be back on the bike as well, and been absolutely fascinating to spend the day with the bike cops. We're basically heading back now to the Wrexham HQ to say our cheerios. Once we're out of these foothills, it's dual carriageway pretty much, so I won't film there. But I must say, huge thank you to the guys for looking after me so well today. I've thoroughly enjoyed our time together. Not only learning about the police and what they do, and answering all those questions that you guys kindly sent in, so thank you to all my patrons that sent in those questions. Made for a fascinating day. Every day's a school day when you're a biker on YouTube. And not only that, I thoroughly enjoyed the day's riding as well, so double bonus. Hope you've enjoyed watching the videos. If you've not done so already, do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you next time. Right, that's it for now. Until next time, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.